I have started stocking my new 55-gallon tank now. And the way I do things when I'm starting a new aquarium, I always try to get my corydoras settled in first before I get anything else. So that's what I'm doing this time as well. I went to my local PetSmart and I got 6 green or bronze corydoras. And the reason I got those is because they are native to the place where I was born. I myself am not a native of Trinidad, but I was born in Trinidad. So so that's why I got some bronze cories. But there are many others that I like as well. The other thing about the bronze cories is that my family doesn't really like cories. They think they're really ugly. So I got bronze because then it will, blend in with the substrate more, and they won't be so annoying to people that have to look at them and don't like it. The reason I usually get my corydoras first is because I get them at PetSmart. I have to get them first because the corydoras at PetSmart are often undernourished when you get them. And I'm not knocking PetSmart. I shop there quite often, and I love the people that work there. They're always so pleasant, and they always are very gentle with catching the fish. These are 2 things that I really appreciate in a fish shop. But the fact is that they don't feed the corydoras that well, and so they end up being a little on the skinny side. These ones were actually quite skinny. They actually looked like tadpoles. Looking at them from above, they looked like tadpoles. So I wanted to fatten them up, just get to know them. How much do they eat? Do they overeat? Of course they overeat. They're corydoras, right? So when I first got them about 10 days ago, I started with 5 little pinches, 5 pinches of food, 5 times a day. So 1 or 2, okay, call it 10 pinches of food. Very small pinches in 2 different spots, 5 times a day. And they really seem to enjoy that. After a couple days, I tried to get them down to 4. They didn't like 4 too much. They were still begging me in between, but I steeled my heart against them. Don't beg me. I don't care if you look cute or not. I'm not feeding you. So 4 times a day for a couple days, and then, getting them down from 4 to 3 was so hard because they would just beg and beg. But I got them down to 3, and actually now I'm trying to get them down to 2 because they're actually getting a little fat in the belly, But they're looking much better, so they've grown quite a bit. They don't look like tadpoles anymore. And like I said, if anything, they look a little too fat now. So this is what I'm trying to find out, though. This is why I get them by themselves, so I can, find out exactly how much do they actually need. Not how much they want. How much do they need? I have to find that out. So I'm finding out now that they need quite a bit more than I've ever fed corydoras before, but my corydoras have never lasted me very well, and I think that they have often died from starvation. So yeah. So I think that's one of the things that you need to, if you're getting corydoras yourself, and they're brand new to you. If you know them already, of course, and you're changing them from one tank to another, you don't have to worry. But when you have a new tank with new corydoras, I think this is how you should do it. Because that way you get to know them and you get to know exactly how much they actually need to eat. Now, the second thing that corydoras really need is some flows, you know, the kind of flow where they can actually play. They need a playground of flow. And I was kind of worried that my two little pipe filters might not supply that, because I like keeping tetras, and tetras don't want flow. But fortunately for me, I don't know how this is working out so well. This tank is just working out so well, because the pipe filters, the way they're located, the air comes up and that brings water up with it, and then the water goes over the side. But when it goes over the side, if it goes over the side this way, it just goes along the top of the tank. But when it comes out the front or the back, then it has nowhere to go but to go down the wall. And that has been causing a lot of nice flow where I can see my corydoras are playing. One of them especially, he or she likes to swim up the current and then just come down, let himself go and drop down with the current. Swim up again and then drop. The only thing about that is that I've had a couple fish in my lifetime that have been injured by playing in current, and then they never recuperate, they never come back. Corydoras really need a place where they can play in strong flow. It does something for them that psychological, or maybe I don't know what it is, but if they don't get that playtime, they don't seem to do well at all. So make sure that you get, if you need some other places in the tank that are quieter, that's fine too, because they also need a quiet place to rest. But you also need at least one spot where they can play in some good flow. Now, the third thing that I find that corydoras really need is a lot of oxygen in the water, a lot of oxygen. And there again, my pipe filters usually do a pretty good job. I've still seen one of them at least, they're all different. 4 of them never come to the top. They just play together. They go around looking for food and stuff together. And they never surf the glass. They never play in the flow. No, they're just happy being together. But there's 2 others, the other 2, they really need that flow, playing in the flow, and they seem to really need the oxygen too, because they come up and, grab air from the surface. Not too much, so it's not bothering me, but I'm thinking, how can I even better the oxygen in the water? My air pump is designed for 50 gallons. And there's only, because of the substrate, there's only 40 in here. So the air pump should be doing a good enough job. So why are they coming to the surface for air still? I don't know. The 50-gallon rating on the pump, it's actually a Whisper 100, but I'm only using one side of it, so it's actually for 50 gallons, right? So that one side of the 100-gallon Whisper air pump is going to one of those valve bars, and then the 2 lines come off of the valve bar and go to each side. So they do quite a good job. And the thing with pipe filters is there's a lot of there's a lot of evidence that something like this works really well. So there's such a thing as an airlift pump, which can, you can actually use bubbles to lift water out of a deep well. So bubbles going up a pipe is a proven thing. It really lifts the water. And someone was asking me about the temperature of the water. They said because of the low flow, the temperature might not be the same all over the tank. But I found that, yes, I tested it in 5 places, the 4 corners and the middle, and the temperature was exactly what my heater controller was saying. So the heater controller is set to fluctuate, and yeah, so whatever the heater controller was saying at the time, that was what the temperature was exactly in all 5 corners, 4 corners and the middle that I tested it. So to me that proves that the circulation is okay. So I don't know what I can do to increase the oxygen. Or maybe those 2 fish just need more oxygen than regular other, we're not all built the same, right? And I think it's with cories too, they're not all built the same. So maybe these 2 just need extra oxygen and I don't need to worry about it too much. Yeah, so these are the things that I've found in my experience. These are the things that I found you need to worry about when you're taking care of cories. So corydoras are not just cute, they're very useful. They go around cleaning stuff up. Even if they don't actually eat the stuff, they're constantly sweeping, let's say. Yeah, because the little barbells, sweep up anything that's on the surfaces, not just the substrate, but the leaves and everything. They go around sweeping all day long, and they eat whatever they find that's edible. So they're useful as well as pretty. So here's a little clip of the 4 that like to play together. Just go around. Anyways, that's it for me today. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Talk to you later. See you. Bye.